It is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, 7 p.m. sharp. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of your lovely hostesses, the Garlic Johnson. We are joined, as always, by our other lovely hostess, the Joshua Mitchell. Josh, say hi to the folks out there.
Hi, folks.
Nailed it. Everyone, we appreciate you joining us. It is season 8 for us. Episode 202. Holy shit, how are we still doing this after all these years? But we're gluttons for punishment, and it's a fun hobby, and it gets me even more invested in football than I already am, so we're going to keep going until the wheels fall off. Josh, we didn't do a spring podcast. We didn't do a draft podcast. And honestly, looking back, I think the offseason, well, we'll get into it in a little bit, but I think the offseason largely was a little dry. I think the draft, especially from a fantasy perspective, was a little dry. Not very sexy or exciting, which some years are going to be like that. But because we haven't talked to the folks since our last upload, which was January 7th, it has been over 8 months, or 7 months, 8 months, however that works out, 8 months. What is, for the people who only talk to you every so often, update the folks, Josh. What has happened for you over 8 months? Are you dead yet? You're getting older, I know.
I am 8 months closer to dying. That is an actual fact. I've invested a lot of time and a lot of energy into learning the ancient art of supercrastination.
Okay.
And so, for those of you that don't know, it is like procrastination, but much more super.
Wow.
And so, yeah. Just mastering that, and I think I've gotten it. I think I got that 12th notice for a bill, and it's just like, supercrastination.
Supercrastination. Okay, sorry to the folks.
No, I'm just kidding. I basically just sat downstairs next to my laptop waiting to go
for
8 months.
For 8 months.
Yep.
You never went outside?
I did every once in a while, just because I could tell I was a little vitamin D deficient, and I had to, go to the bathroom every once in a while, and the window that I'm in the room opens, so I just kind of, make do with that.
What about your wife and kid? Did you pay them any attention for 8 months?
I got a loudspeaker.
Yeah.
And I'd sing lullabies every so often.
Nice. You call requesting meals or asking for the shit bucket or anything like that?
No. Filter feed. I am SpongeBob.
Excellent.
How about you, Gar? How have the last 8 months been treating you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the 8 months have been pretty decent. But I obviously got another year older. We're 31 years old now.
Dead.
Yeah, I might as well. As soon as you're over 30, I mean, you know how it is. You're much significantly older than I am. You know how it feels to wake up every morning and just, like Mike McDaniel said. I don't know if you saw that little press conference clip of him, but he's like, "Why is today a great day, Mike?" Or some news reporter asked him, he's like, "Why is today a great day, Mike?" And he's like, "Because we're another day closer to death." So even Mike McDaniel understands the meme. But no, I mean, honestly, nothing too crazy. Got a girlfriend over the past 8 months. Al's here. We started the 7 Ships League. That'll be a little bit fun. Otherwise, I don't know, man. When you're 31, life gets pretty predictable, pretty routine, which I think overall is a very good thing. But it also leads to not having that many interesting things to say about you over the past 8 months. Our softball team, our season just finished. We had 3 total wins this year?
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. How'd your Thursday team do?
We have games tomorrow to kind of decide it. We're in the playoffs, but
regular season, how'd you do?
We did. Not good. Not
huh?
The best, not the worst.
You guys are just average? I can't imagine Glick would play on an average softball team.
Well, Glick didn't play until like the last 2 weeks.
Oh, I suppose.
He had owies.
Yeah. Well, anywho, Josh, as much as people love the chit chat about us, I think it's time we chat some football. We are here for the 272, Josh. It's an experiment we've done, I believe, every single year we've done this podcast. This will be, well, I guess at first it was the 256, then it became the 272 when the NFL ruined its perfect 16-week schedule and made it a 17-week schedule, and I'm sure they'll make it 18 in our lifetime. But we have predicted every single regular season NFL game, and so now we're here to talk about the AFC. But first, Josh, let's tell the people why they should listen to us. Why should they give a shit about what we have to say, even though we've been doing this for 8 years? How did you perform in your 272 last year, Josh? Why should the folks care about your opinion? Tell them how smart you are.
Well, according to this, I got 1,823% of the games right.
That how it works?
Something like that. You know what? I think I do that every year, and I'm not necessarily sure why. But as far as just the overalls, we won't look at the game by games. But I think I had a 56 or 57% accuracy rating on that. So not too bad. Over 50%, guessing 272 football games is, it's better than a coin flip. My best divisions, according to the way that we figured that out, was AFC and NFC South. So the southern regions, they were the best. So I just knew that, odds are they were going to lose and predicted it as such.
And what else do you think ties you into the South? Did you have in 2024, did you have a high biscuits and gravy diet? Is the Kodiak factory in Alabama or something? Or is there anything else that ties you to the South that makes you so good at predicting their NFL records?
Well, I think I just complained about the heat a lot over the summer last summer. So it just kind of made me have that disdain for southern states and southern teams. And it just kind of translated to my predictions of wanting them to lose every game. Not unless she stole a car, but because she drives a Chevy. Thank you, Al.
Oh, Al with the traffic report. Al with the Discord message asking if he had seen Josh's wife in traffic today in a Mazda. So who knows, Josh? Are we sure it wasn't Nikita? Maybe she has some sidecar you don't know about. Some side dude.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's that makes it even better. Could she see over the steering wheel? Because if so, then it wasn't Nikita.
Yeah, it wasn't her.
But all right, Josh.
I just confirmed.
Nice. All right, so for me, looking at the 272 week to week, I predicted about 58.8% of just the week to week games, which again above a coin flip. If you're nearing 60%, I'd say you're doing decent. You have decent football knowledge, even if the week-to-week games are a little bit fluky. If you were to take my 102, oh my god, I'm gonna do math live. If you were to take my 102 away from the differential, divide that by 272, which is that, but then, oh my god, equals 1 minus that. From the overall differential, I was up to about 62.5%. So that's not so bad. If we're picking. We'll go 3/5 correct. I mean, the 3/5 compromise was a great thing, and I think sticking around 3/5 is what we're doing here. So I got that going for me. But
how did you do that? I wasn't paying attention. How did you do that?
So I just took if you look at this column B, is it the same on your sheet? If you look at column BN, which is great for podcasts, you were 108 away from the differential, so I did that. Equals that minus 272, or excuse me, divided by. Oh, Jesus Christ. One more time. Minus
200%. Wow.
Yeah. It's 272 minus that. This is great for podcasting. And then do that over 272. You were at about a 60.2 or 60.3%. We'll round it up. So we were pretty much right neck and neck with each other. My best divisions were... because you want the lower differential. My best divisions were the AFC South and the NFC South, just like you, but also the AFC North. I just knew that Baltimore was going to be a great team. I knew Pittsburgh was going to be a middle-of-the-road team, and I was wrong about Cleveland, but it didn't fucking matter. And I knew Cincinnati was going to regress, so I'll take that as a feather in my cap from last year. Moving on to this year, though, Josh. So the people know we get about 3/5 of our predictions right, so that's how you know we're really good. Moving on to this year, Josh, let's talk about the AFC. We were not going to sit here and do the timer like we used to do. We'll just have a quick jaunt through the AFC, all 16 teams. you'll give you'll give the record and why you think they're going to perform that way. Which of course we'll start with who's the first fucking AFC team? Oh, Baltimore. Jesus Christ. We're getting the cobwebs off here, folks. There we go. Filtered down notes from pod down to 16 teams. The Baltimore Ravens, Josh. How do you have them doing this year?
Well, so I did a different grading method. I don't know if you noticed, but when you had already gone through a week or two on yours, and I hadn't even started, and then I finished all 18 weeks by the time you finish week 3 or 4. And that's because I did a thing where a lot of it is like what I trust. I added a different category, so it goes based off of last year's abilities, the head coach's name, any new additions that I'd seen you put on your side of the notes because I didn't want to take the time to look any up, and whether or not I trust them. Yep, whether or not I trust them with the grill.
Okay.
And
like
so
like
starting
a
with
barbecue?
Baltimore, yeah. Starting with Baltimore, I had them going 13-4. A lot of success last year. MVP at quarterback, that didn't change. They had a Jair, so he'll have a good 2-3 games before getting hurt. The coach, John Harbaugh, long tenured coach, I believe 16, 17 years, somewhere in there. And, when I think about him around the grill, I'd say absolutely. That man could probably handle 2 grills at once. So he just seems to, he's got that dual threat quarterback, so he can handle 2 grills at once.
Didn't you literally put in a column for how many years they coached? Why'd you delete it?
I didn't know how accurate it was.
Oh,
Andy Reid was only at like 25.
You just made it up.
He's like 95.
Okay. All right, because I thought that'd be interesting, but if you don't know, that's fine. Okay, but you have them ultimately going 13-4. Last year they went 12-5. And then who was the expert? We also have an expert rank here featuring. The expert gave them 15 wins. Who's that?
NFL Spin Zone. I don't even know if they're actually expert. It was just the first one that popped up that was easy to transfer over to paper.
Oh, perfect. All right. So you have them going 13-4. The expert has them with 15 wins. I have them going 14-3. So I have them giving 2 more wins than last year. Like you said, pretty much one of the only notable things in the offseason was the addition of Jair Alexander. I do notice that you have them power rank number 1. I have them power rank number 2. So obviously you're not exactly predicting the Super Bowl today, but you think Baltimore is kind of the favorite out of the AFC to go to the bowl this year, or what? Is that what you're saying?
Hang on 1 second here.
Okay.
So I think I copied the wrong numbers over. So we're just going to kind of...
Do you want me just to pause the recording for a second? I can do that.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't have Denver going 15 and...
You have them going 12-5. All right, but I'm going to pause the recording. All right, and we're back to recording. Look at that. It's the magic of production. No one even knows that we paused. But okay, so you have Baltimore going 15 wins. There was a broken formula or something somewhere, but we're good now. But so you think they're the favorites to go to the bowl, to my prior question before the pause?
Yeah, I think that they have I think that they'll have the best regular season. Favorite to go to the bowl. Kind of depends on how teams are going into the playoffs, if they're hot or not,
Yeah. Obviously, it depends on the momentum from December. But since you're sitting here right now, just looking at your records, and you power rank them number 1, so you think Baltimore's got the best shot. That's interesting. Okay, I got them power rank 2, so I think Baltimore's right there as well. Next, moving on to the Buffalo Bills. This is my favorite for the Super Bowl this year. I have the Buffalo Bills going 15-2. That's coming off their 13-4 season last year. They did add Joey Bosa. I don't know if anyone is overly extra excited. I think Joey Bosa has fallen. Of course, incredibly talented, not incredibly available. So how much of an addition is it? It can certainly, reasonable people can disagree. But I have them power rank number 1 with 15 wins. Josh, how do you feel about them Buffalo Bills this year?
Yeah, I have them going 13-4. Their head coach, Sean McDermott, he's been there a while. When it comes to the trusting him with the grill, I would probably trust him, but I would watch them closely because when it gets to January, the Bills tend to get cooked pretty quick. So it's one of those things where you get regular season's great, get to the playoffs, get cooked. So I'm gonna make sure that I don't invest too much into that. Trusting him near the end of the season.
My Bills go up in January. I mean, speaking of getting cooked, they did just extend James Cook, I think, for like 4 years or something. I think I saw today.
Yeah.
So
I did see that.
a lot of things getting cooked, Josh. But all right, so you have them going 13-4, but you think they fall apart in the postseason. Got it.
Yep.
What do you think about
Moving
them
on to
Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah, moving on to Cincinnati, I have them going 12-5. And that is depending. I had them with a hot start this season, something that they haven't done. But their head coach, Zach Taylor, Cincinnati is kind of known for them slow starts. So once I get the meat started on that grill, I'll let them take over while I pee. But then when I get done peeing, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take over because I don't trust them to finish either. So I'm not going to trust Zach Taylor to finish cooking my steak because odds are it's going to end up a brick, or it's going to be, mooing, or it's going to be somehow underneath the grate. And yeah, so he can handle the middle of it, but I'm going to take over at the beginning and the end.
Gotcha. All right. So I hear what you're saying there. That makes sense. 12-5, but no Super Bowl aspirations this year. All right. See, 12-5.
Sorry, Mika.
Yep. I have them going 10-7, so I have them going a little bit worse than you. They did go 9-8 last year. If anyone who watched the quarterbacks thing, you could see, Joe Burrow, he kind of had an up and down year, and they really did not do very much to address the defense this year. That's pretty much my only note for them was defenses for losers. They extended T. Higgins. They extended someone else. I can't remember. They fired their defensive coordinator, which of course their defense was bad, so it makes sense that they make that move, but I think the Bengals are just praying they can outscore everyone, and I don't think it's going to work out for them. You have them power ranked as number 6, so still pretty good. I have them power ranked as 11, so that's one of our biggies here in the AFC of difference. We both think they're a very talented team. Both of us agree that they're not a Super Bowl contender this year, and I just have them ranked a little bit lower, thusly, I think. But overall, I think we're in agreement for that squad. Moving on. Oop, Josh, you got something?
Nope, just breathing.
How dare you fucking breathe in my... Moving on to their AFC North rivals, we got the Cleveland Browns. I want to say in my 8 years of doing this, and I don't know if this is true, and I'm not going to go back and look, but I don't know that I've ever predicted a winless team before, and I finally fucking did it for the Cleveland Browns. They got fucking 6 quarterbacks on their team right now. They went 3-14 last year. I do not see them improving. It's unfortunate because obviously Kevin Stefanski spent a lot of time here. I would hope for Kevin Stefanski to be able to find success. It's not going to happen in Cleveland. They're my dead last team. Power rank 32, 0 wins. Josh, what do you think about Mr. Kevin Stefanski?
Didn't he win Coach of the Year the first year in Cleveland because they won a playoff game?
Yeah, he's won it like twice.
Yeah, well, I have Cleveland going 3-14. I gave them 3 lucky wins just to ruin their potential for that top overall draft pick because why not?
Because that's the most Cleveland thing they could do.
Yeah, you mentioned Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, and when it comes to the grill, I could set it out in front of him. I can get it started. I could hand him a hamburger, and it's still going to be instructions unclear. He cooked the hot dog in the dumpster because that's what Cleveland is.
Or Cleveland.
Yeah, moving on to Denver, the Mile High City. I have them going 12-5. I'm sure Walter's just yacked everywhere because anytime Sean Payton is associated with something, he just throws up because Sean Payton apparently murdered his family. But
Walter needs to grow.
I have them going 12-5. They had a pretty solid season last year. They had Evan Engram, and Bo Nix has another year under his belt. When it comes to the grill trust, absolutely. I'm going to let Sean Payton take over the grilling because he hired somebody to tenderize that meat. Just had somebody he hired a hitman to go in there and pound that meat down to get it nice and tender so it grills real good.
Oh, yeah. And you also know that Sean Payton is so much of a poser and so much of a... I don't know if people pleaser is the right way to say it, but he wants to be liked and accepted so bad that, yeah, he's importing his meat. He's got like the A5 Wagyu that he's grilling up for no reason. He spent thousands of dollars just to try and impress you. And you know what? That guy's he's gonna do it right. So I think you're absolutely right with that take, Josh. I have the Denver. I'm high on the Broncos, not as high as you. I have them going 10-7, matching their exact record from last year. I think this team, if they continue to grow as they have been, as we've seen them grow, I think this team could have a very bright future and could be a Super Bowl contender in a couple years. I don't think that's this year. Obviously, still got the Chiefs in the division, and until I can see them legitimately beating the Chiefs consistently with all starters versus all starters, I can't believe that highly in them. You have them power rank 7. I have them power rank 12. again, it's one of those scenarios. We both agree they're not contenders, so it's just a matter of a win or loss here. But overall, we know they're not going to the finale this year. Moving on to the Houston Texans. I have them going 9-8 after they finished 10-7 last year. Again, one of those teams didn't have a lot of cap space, didn't make a lot of moves. Laramie Tunsil was the big one that he got traded out. I believe he's at the Commanders now, something like that. But Laramie Tunsil, big left tackle, got traded out. Otherwise, not much of note. Stephon Diggs has gone too, I suppose. But I have them power rank 17. They're not making the playoffs this year.
I had them going 10-7. So one more win than you, one less than the expert. D'Amico Ryans as their head coach. When it came down to the grilling trust, I said, yeah, I would. I would definitely. I would. He seems like a guy that we'd get, we compare grill aprons with the number pockets to hold accessories. And then we'd probably sit around and debate the best running backs of the 2000s.
Nice. That's what you and D'Amico are going to do. I love it. What about Indy, Josh?
Well, Indy, I had them going 7-10, so one game worse than last year. Anthony Richardson's apparently in shape. The expert had them winning 8 games, so a little bit more than what I had. Shane Steichen, he's still around. As far as with the grill, definitely not, because the quarterback is the representation of the team, just like the head coach. So you'd think that the head coach rubs off on that quarterback. So I just had a feeling that Shane Steichen, he'd get tired, he'd sit down, he'd probably get hurt standing back up, and then he tried to get me to trust him yet again by saying like, "Hey, I'll bring over some Wagyu beef if you let me man that grill again." But no, not going to let him touch my grill.
Nice. All right. I have Indy even worse than you. I have Indy going 5-12. It sucks because I think this could be such a high ceiling team if Anthony Richardson could figure it out, if he could stay healthy, if he could not fucking quit in the middle of a game. I think their ceiling is like 12, 13 wins because they could be so explosive. The receivers are good, but I have them going 5-12. Unfortunately, they're as high as their ceiling is, their floor is just as low. And they could be a 2-win team potentially, but it's going to be probably a QB controversy all year with both Danny. It's going to be a QB controversy with 2 trash bags. It's going to be between Danny Dimes and between Anthony Richardson. So
Vanilla Vic, come on.
Vanilla Vic, Danny Dashes, whatever. Like I said, I have them going 5-12. You have them power rank 20. I have them power rank 27. That's tied for our second biggest differential of the AFC. But we both agree that this is a bottom half of the league team, and that's just the way it is. Moving on to them Florida boys, one of the 3. We got Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them going 7-10 after they finished a 4-13 last year. There's a new head coach in town, the first new head coach of the AFC teams we've talked about. He's a man named Liam Cohen. And if you're asking yourself, who the fuck is that? That, for those who don't know, that was the QB whisperer who has helped Baker Mayfield blossom so well in Tampa. Of course, Baker was talented before that, but he really blew up in Tampa. They also drafted Travis Hunter, so I could see them improving from 4 wins to 7. I don't think that's that big of a stretch. Potentially, this team could have a bright future. Certainly a talented roster. Can Trevor Lawrence's career be resurrected? That is to be seen, because up until this point, he has been
trash.
But you know what? This year is not their year, but I do think there's a lot of potential there. Josh, how do you feel about them Florida boys?
I had them going 6-11, so one less win than you, but still better than last year. As you said, Liam Cohen, a lot of people are like, who is that? He's the quarterback whisperer, meaning that he spent his time focused on that. He wasn't a head coach, so I doubt he's going to go in there and make Trevor Lawrence turn things around that quickly. May have a little bit better of a year, but I don't know how they're going to improve to like a playoff team from 4-13. As far as the grill trust method, I doubt he's seen a grill before, much like many of the fans of teams when he was hired went, who's this? I've never seen him before. Liam Cohen's probably never seen a grill. He also has that goofy looking face that probably says, I air fry my meats. But yeah.
Speaking of goofy, before we go, this is how this man tried to say Duval. Okay, this is all you need to know about how this man's going to do, at least in year 1.
Duval.
That fucking screams, I sit down when I piss, okay? Liam Cohen is not the guy this year. Josh, moving on.
Yeah, that just gives me the heebies whenever I hear that. So
not great.
Moving on to Kansas City. I'm going to have to really cut back on this one when it comes to the grill method. But Kansas City, I had going 14-3. Their head coach, Big Red Andy Reid, the Hamburglar. Would I trust him with the grill? If I don't plan on eating, absolutely. If I want something to eat, absolutely not. I mean, we've seen that man. That man, his mustache may be gray, but I guarantee there's always barbecue residue in that thing. Do they have a slow start with Rashee Rice out? I don't know. They've got Xavier Worthy. They've got Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce's apparently in the best shape ever, and he said he's taken a step back from acting to get back into football mode. I have them going with 14 wins. Gar, how about you?
What a star he was in Happy Gilmore too. I think he's got an Oscar in his future. I do think they start a little bit slower. I think it's not even necessarily just the loss of Rashee Rice, the player, but just the negative attention. Especially since the suspension, I think as of today, last time I F5'd, I think the suspension hasn't even come in yet. So it's just a lot of unwanted attention around training camp and around to start the year. I do think the team's going to start slow. Of course, we know you can never count out Andy Reid and the Chiefs as a whole. We know they're a solid squad. I have them going 12-5. I have them power ranked number 3. I think I even, my power rankings, I don't stick strictly to my win-loss rankings because that would be a little bit silly. So I think I moved them up above a couple teams that are in the NFC that I have more wins than them. But it's like Kansas City Chiefs are a better team. They have to be power ranked higher. When the playoffs hit, the momentum's going to be there. Kansas City is always a solid team. Can't count them out. So we both agree, right up there, Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, who would ever just sort by wins and then just kind of make a list going all the way down? Because even with the ties for total wins, it just doesn't make sense.
Could you imagine? That'd be silly. Moving on to their AFC West rival, Josh, one of the team that's always been near and dear to my heart, even now that Old Man Rivers is gone. We got the Los Angeles Chargers. I unfortunately have them going a little bit tougher, a little 9-8 this year. They finished 11-6 last year, so I have them going two wins worse. One of the factors is I just can't let them continue to break my heart every year. Another one of the factors is that they've already lost their stud left tackle, Rashawn Slater, for the year, and that's tragic. The Chargers always seem to have some sort of bout of unluckiness, whether it's injuries or fluke game rulings or balls bouncing the wrong way. Whatever it is, the Chargers seem to have that unlucky bug. And they're speedrunning that this year with Rashawn Slater. So I have them power ranked 15. It breaks my heart to do that. I would love to see Jim Harbaugh and the boys excel into the playoffs with Herbie fully loaded, but this year I'm thinking is not their year. How do you feel about the Chargers?
I'm a little bit higher on them than you. They went 11-6 last year. I have them going 12-5. Experts rating has them winning 10 games. So yeah, we're kind of all right around that 9, 10, 11, 12 range. As far as, what you had said, they also don't have Najee Harris. Well, they have one eye Najee Harris right now, but they got a Marion Hampton. They've got Ladd McConkey. They've got Herbert. So I'm not all doom and gloom. With Jim Harbaugh as the head coach and the potential grill master, I'd definitely let him watch my grill, but I'm going to hate every second of it because he'd made me catch the chicken and then butcher it beforehand before we started grilling. So I'm already pretty hungry, but the reason he's watching the grill is because I'm too worked out. I earned my meal, so he's going to do it for me.
Do you think he has to use tinfoil for the milk steak, or what do you think his strategy is?
I don't know. It's a great question. I'd probably ask him about that, but for our dinner, he'd make me catch a chicken and then kill it.
Okay. All right.
Moving on to Las Vegas Raiders. I have them going 2-15, so two worse games than last year. Geno Smith is their new quarterback. They got the gum chomper, and they've got negative yard Ashton Gente running the ball. Hasn't gotten a positive yard. I have more rushing yards in the preseason than him. When it comes to Pete Carroll coaching the team, I'm not going to let him near my grill because grilled gum sounds gross. And so that he's just going to put a big red stick on the grill and start flipping it over and start giggling like a little child. Experts have them getting 7 wins. Gar, what do you have them getting?
I'm certainly a little bit higher on the Las Vegas Gum Chompers than you are. I have them going 6-11, so just one less than the experts and 2 more wins than last year. AP was just not the answer, obviously, last year. So they cleaned house. They brought in They brought in Pete Carroll. They brought in Geno Smith. So they're just trying to resurrect some of the success that they're having in Seattle together. One of the bigger offseason moves for the quarterback position. I have them power rank 24. I don't think they're going to be as bad as you. I'm not sure how you can just drop the floor out like that, but I could be wrong. Certainly, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're a bottom half of the league team, but I think Vegas should be formidable. I think especially when you're adding in Ashton like that. Even just with a solid run game and with the immense amount of experience that Pete Carroll has, they're going to stumble their way into at least 4 wins like they did last year, and I think they're going to surpass that by a couple. So I have them going 6-11. This was our biggest power ranking difference. You have them all the way at the bottom at 32. I have them at 24. Moving on to the Miami Dolphins, Josh, the Mike McDanielsons. I have them going 9-8, which is just 1 win better than their 8-9 finish last year. They swapped around some players with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Minka Fitzpatrick is back in town. They've got Darren Waller for some reason. Jonnu Smith is gone, as well as Jalen Ramsey is gone. I have them power rank 18. Again, this is one of those teams I would love to succeed. But I think either one of two things is true. It appears that Mike McDaniel is going to be an amazing head coach at his second team that he gets to head coach for because of all the growing pains he's gone through, or he's one of those mans who I think his ceiling is just a coordinator, and he's an amazing coordinator. His offensive scheme is up there with anyone, especially as far as the running game goes, but I do think this Dolphins Mike McDaniel's experiment is about to end, and it's about to end poorly. So I have them just going 9-8, and I don't think the bottom will drop out, but I do just think the team will move on because good enough is not great enough if you're going for championships. Josh, what do you think about them boys down in South Florida?
Yeah, we're talking about the bottom falling out, and I have them going 5-12. They probably are going to get more wins than that. I do, thinking about it, 8 wins is likely, but there's just, been a lot of drama. Tua, half a brain cell. Tyreek Hill's, quarter brain cell. Had injuries galore. They, I don't know. Mike McDaniel talks like he's a goober. When it comes to the grill trust, Gar, I don't know if you ever put that man near a grill, then it's, I pray for you. But he would probably try explaining the seasoning he used for the ribs, going into this whole elaborate scheme, plan for it, go out with a stack of ribs, and then somehow come back with a plain hot dog, and we don't have any buns to put him in. So it just, he's a little bit confusing when it comes down to it, but I think he might be right with, he might be better for a coordinator position, high school, maybe D2 college, but, Mike McDaniel and his goofy gooberness is not, I don't think he's going to be sticking around Miami too much longer.
You just know, if we're talking about your grill analogies, you just know that Mike McDaniel is the kind of guy who has a Traeger, one of those electric grills. Maybe he's probably got some wood pellets imported from fucking Portugal or something. This guy's like, oh, you need to get your ribs to exactly 172 degrees for 47 minutes and 37 seconds. That's the kind of that's the grilling that you would have with Mike McDaniel. I just don't think anyone thinks that trouble's worth it, but he probably does make a mean meat.
He probably does go through all of that explanation, goes out there to show you, and then realizes he never turned it on.
Well, so he does seem like someone who's stoned quite frequently, so there might be a little fogginess involved as well.
Moving on to New England, I had them going 9-8. Last year they went 4-13, but they did not let Drake May start the majority of the season. I think that when he did start, that's when they started to win a little bit more. But experts have them going 9-8 as well. As far as trusting Mike Vrabel, the new head coach with the grill, definitely not sure I'm going to be able to handle getting tobacco in my meat. Seems like I've never seen a picture of that man without a big chaw in his mouth.
Yeah, that man is chawed 24/7. He's got at least 2 pucks in his, in one in each pocket, just in case he's never running out. I'm not quite as high on the Vrabel Patriots as you. I have them only going 7-10. So even though you and the expert agree at 9, I have them going just a little bit 7-10. Of course, I'm a huge Vrabel guy. I think that guy's the right kind of. He's in the same class as Dan Campbell. He's the kind of man you would run through a wall for, and he has proven he is a a smart football intellect. He's not known for being a great play caller, and I love that he doesn't try and pose as one. He lets his coordinators play the calls while he's focusing on the other stuff. And we watched him outsmart Bill Belichick in a couple games with the rules back when he was in Tennessee. This man does have a sharp football mind, despite his huge meathead projection. I do not think his first year in New England is going to be that great. Maybe in a couple of years they can put something together. Drake May could flourish. Josh McDaniels also back in town. That man just he can't quit New England, and Robert Kraft apparently can't quit him. So I have them power rank 23. You have them power rank 18. We're in the same ballpark yet again. This is not their year. Moving on to their AFC East rivals, Josh, the New York Jets. I have the Justin Field-led Jets going 4-13, which is one worse win than their 5-12 finish last year. New head coach Aaron Glenn is in town. There's no more Rodgers, no more Devontae Adams. Otherwise, the team is decently similar. They have young talents with Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. So certainly staples to build their team around. Do we think Justin Fields is going to lead them to the promised land? Obviously not. I think 4-13. Experts think 5 wins. Josh, what do you think?
I had them going 4-13 as well. If Aaron Glenn brings the same type of intensity and attitude to New York as he did as the defensive coordinator in Detroit, when I looked at my grilling analogy, I said, yeah, he's going to have to take over at some point, because when the first 5 grill masters get hurt from the intensity that he brings to that team, he's going to have to watch it, because a lot of injuries. From what I understand, Breece Hall, he may not be leaned on as often as he was last year. That Braylon Allen kid's been doing work, so I like to hear that as somebody that owns him in Dynasty. But we'll see. Obviously, neither of us are high on them. Neither is the experts with 5 total wins. Moving on to Pittsburgh, Eric's team, and I will say that he is still alive because he did actually delete the league. I know. I saw that. There's
an Eric sighting, yeah,
a couple weeks ago. So he is still out there. But Pittsburgh, I had going 10-7. Talman maintains his winning record. And it all really came down to the grilling. And now this is where the grilling came in handy, because, he's got that secret chef hat and apron and custom grilling utensils. Doesn't want people to know that he can work his way around, but he's got it. He's got it all figured out. They've got Rodgers. They've got a defense. They've got DK Metcalf. They've got Jonnu Smith, who's kind of a wide receiver in his own right. They've got some 6'7", 300-pound Darnell. They've got a decent run game. We'll see. I do think that they keep that winning record streak alive.
Mike Tomlin strikes me as one of the guys. I don't think he's from Pittsburgh. Wherever he's from, he seems like the type he'd pull up to a local park, and I don't know, probably like a Suburban or like an Escalade or something. Just pop open the back. It would have maybe 50 solid pounds of meat, whether you got sausages and ribs and steaks, and he would just, he would put on a big community cookout for, he would just randomly show up places and just be like, all right, who wants what? And, he gives me that kind of grill vibe. So Mike Tomlin would be very generous on the grill. And so I'm just trying to enhance your point. I think your grilling analogy is amazing. However, I don't think that's going to lead to on-the-field success. I have them going 8-9, so 2 wins down from their 10-7. I do have that losing season here. Of course, I'm going to be wrong, but that's just how the games fell, and I was going to go back and tweak it just for Tomlin's sake. Rodgers is in town. DK Metcalf was the big trade. Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith. So this is, no, I don't think anyone in Pittsburgh is calling this a dream team. This is certainly a team of mostly washed up players trying their one last ride. Tomlin has always been someone who has loved the old and cheap approach. I think their floor is very low. I could see this being a 3-4 win team. Do I think they could strike gold and be a 12-win team? Maybe, but I really don't think the playoffs is in this team's future. So I have them going 8-9 and power ranked number 20 out of 32. Moving on, Josh, to the final team, the AFC South, Tennessee Titans. I have them going 5-12 with their new addition Cam Ward. They went 3-14 last year, so improving by about 2 wins. Nothing crazy. Experts have them at 4 wins, and I have them power ranked at 28. I don't think this squad is overly impressive. They really, unfortunately, are they appear to be in cap space hell because they really didn't do that many big flashy free agency signings, which you think they would with their second year GM and their second year head coach, but Cam Ward was about the biggest note I could make about this team. They still have Calvin Ridley, I guess. Traylon Burks got hurt again. So, sure, let's see what you got, Tennessee. I'm not buying it this year. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I had them going 4-13. Cam Ward did come out and say he thinks he has a top 5 wide receiver core in the NFL, which, I had to delete 2 wins just for him saying that. But experts have them going 4 wins as well. I had them power ranked 28. When it comes to Brian Callahan, you mentioned he was a second-year head coach. That's great. I had no idea. I thought he was a brand new head coach, which just kind of goes into
wrong.
Well, which just kind of goes into me trusting him with the grill because I didn't know what this man looked like. So I Google searched Brian Callahan, and first thing that came to my mind was this man's never let meat pass his lips. He's a vegetarian. So I said this vegetarian lookalike would say icky if I asked. And that's kind of what I say whenever I look at the Tennessee Titans playing football, icky. And so it's just kind of 4-13 in my eyes.
Yeah, this is his second year as the Titans head coach. How dare you doubt me? Because remember, Vrabel took a year off.
No, I wasn't doubting you. I was just saying how irrelevant that team is. I didn't even know that this guy had been in the league for a year already.
I hear you. Yeah, it was. I was genuinely, as I was filling this out, because I was doing research. I was going through, there's this Reddit mega thread of all these individual people who do things, so that it's a nice, good, consolidated place of all the different coaching changes and the personnel changes. Reddit actually has a good spot for all this. So, but yeah, I was depressed as I was looking through there. I was like, Tennessee did this little moves, and they're expecting to be better than 3-14. I don't know how they think that's going to happen, but yeah, Brian Callahan, it's his second year, but I was also surprised to learn that earlier today as someone who had taken many months off not caring about football and diving back into the deep end today. Hoofda. But there you go, Josh. We've predicted 272 games. That's all 16 AFC teams. Now that you've sit here and talked about it and you've looked at it, is there anything you would, obviously you don't have to actually go in and change the number, who cares, but is there anything you would tweak? Would you give a couple more wins or a couple more losses to any of these teams, or you feel pretty good about what you've put on the tape here?
Why would I change 100% success rate?
You know what? Yeah, absolutely right. We will probably be coming back to you folks. I don't know. We haven't officially decided yet, but we're roughly planning to hope to get back to our Tuesday-ish schedule. I know Odin had been sick for you. By the way, how is the Odinson doing?
He's doing better. He hasn't pooped in 2 days, so that's kind of what they said would happen. He started antibiotics, which might block him up a bit. He's living large. He's been eating boiled potatoes and chicken for the past 2 days. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes tonight, and then hopefully he gets out. But I just know that when he does poop, it's gonna be a tractor to get out of the yard.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
All right, but yeah, so we hope to come back to you folks roughly next Tuesday. If not, we will find another time because our schedule is a little bit different this year because we normally do our draft grades at a predetermined time, but our draft isn't happening on the same weekend this year. I still need to figure out the draft lottery. Maybe I'll hook up with Al or someone this weekend to pull some ping pong balls or something, as I know I'll need a witness, otherwise no one will ever believe me. But so the schedule's going to be a little bit different this year anyways, but we appreciate everyone so much for listening. Season 8, 202 episodes. We hope to be back with you next week, and looking forward to the 2025 season. Thank you, everybody. Love you, and goodbye.
Probably saw a butterfly, tripped over his own feet, something stupid. And then, yeah, so I didn't even get to pick my draft spot. So I got stuck with slot 8, which to me just sounds like barf.
Oh, Josh, you sound like you're making a lot of excuses for a guy who's supposed to be... Did you win a league last year? Are you the reigning champ or something? I don't remember, but you're supposed to be this chiseled veteran.
Nope. I'm a salty sailor.
You could say that again. All right, Josh. Appreciate you getting on, and we'll chat next week, I suppose.
All right. Bye. Skull Packers.
Bye.